What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Brad Genius back at it again with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about, how fast are motorcycles. We know they're fast, but how fast are they really when you compare them to cars? Yeah, start it off right, boys. Yeah. Oh my god.
Hi, Mom. Sorry, not sorry.
Went on camera when I die?
Of course. So now I'm not going to go into the specific numbers. I'm just going to give you a real-world experience because you guys know I'm a car guy as well. I have a 2013 Mustang GT, and I really have a good sense of, what the difference is between a bike and a car and why so many people choose bikes, over cars. The main reason for people choosing bikes over cars is because, for the most part, bikes are just way faster than you're ever going to be able to get a car to go for a lot less money. But when you just take a look at, a standard motorcycle, compare it to a standard car, the difference is the acceleration. Motorcycles don't have the same top end as, some of the performance cars, but the acceleration that they have is why everybody goes for them. You could even have one of the slower bikes. You take a Honda Grom or something like that, they're still going to speed up at a pretty fast rate in comparison to most cars. Even a 250 four-stroke Enduro or Supermoto or whatever, that's still going to accelerate just as fast, if not faster, than normal cars. And it really varies between the motorcycles as well. The kind of motorcycle that you have really determines the difference in the car that you're comparing it to. A bike like this is a 1000. In terms of acceleration, this thing can literally keep up with a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, maybe 458 or a Lamborghini Gallardo, whatever. And that sounds crazy, and in the long term, down the road, if you got out to top speed, the Lamborghini's going to win or the Ferrari's going to win. But for 1% of the money you're going to spend on a car like that, you're going to keep up pretty well. And that's why a lot of people choose to ride motorcycles. You get supercar speed for such little money. And just to give you guys some references here, like I said, I have my Mustang and I'm into that. I was thinking about pro charging it, and I do want to do that eventually, but I really just can't justify it until I have that much money just to play around with, where I'm like, yeah, I don't mind throwing a couple thousand into this car. I want to be established in everything else in my life first before I did that, especially because, I've watched some videos where you get a 600cc sport bike, and this is a 1000, and they went up around against 500 rear wheel horsepower Mustangs, and it wasn't even close. The motorcycle blew the Mustang out of the water, and my Mustang right now is probably making about 400 to the wheel, give or take, maybe 5 or 10 horsepower. I haven't had it dynoed, but that's where my my estimate is right now. So even if I supercharged it and got 550 to the wheel or whatever it may be, it's still never going to come close to this bike. Just the acceleration of motorcycles is so unreal. And a lot of people say motorcycles are dangerous, but one of the benefits of having a motorcycle is the acceleration. For the most part, on these bikes, if you get yourself into a jam, you can accelerate out of the way quickly. You can get away from, bad situations fast because they accelerate so fast. And now there's the other spectrum of it. There's the other end of the spectrum where, a lot of people think that motorcycles are just extremely fast and they're all deadly, they're all going to kill you. Most of them are fast, but not all of them, There are some slower ones, and there are ones that are safer. So if you're a younger viewer and you're trying to convince your parents, there are some safe bikes that you could get for a first bike that, are around the speed of a normal car. Some examples would be a 250cc sport bike, or a 300, like a Ninja 300. And then there's other ones too, like a Honda Grom. Honda Groms are really small. They're fun bikes. I have my my Grom clone. That even with the mods I've done to that, it's still not a fast bike in comparison to other bikes. And that thing is like perfect for the street in terms of, you know, being at where normal cars are, in terms of how it accelerates and its speed and such. Most people look at all motorcycles and assume that they're all just super fast and deadly machines and they're all going to kill you. And that's wrong, because there are slower motorcycles that are good for learning on, or are good for commuting, and are safe. You know, they accelerate like most cars, and you know, they're in the same performance category as most normal cars. But then you do have the other end of the spectrum where, yeah, some of them are death machines. You know, these are ones like this. These are race bikes. These are made for a motorcycle track, and you could do what I do and, you know, ride them at a normal speed. You know, just enjoy it for what it is, and just appreciate the bike. But some people do take these and they go insane speeds. You know, you can go 186 miles an hour on these bikes, and there's no limiter or anything like that. And the acceleration time to get there is insane. Like, I've seen pulls of these bikes online, and just when you compare them to even fast cars, it just takes so much longer in a car. The amount of time it takes to get to that, you know, 186 on a bike, when you compare it to even, you know, an SRT Dodge Challenger. I was watching a video the other day, the guy was just going 0 to top speed, and you know, I'm watching, I'm like, wow, that is, you gotta have a set of balls to do that for that long. Because when you're going that fast, like, I can't imagine wanting to be going that fast for a long time. If you ever hit that speed, I feel like you'd get to it and you'd be happy and stop. But, you know, like I said, with a car, it just takes so much longer to get to that speed. You just have to be willing to hold it out. If you did that on a motorcycle, something like this, for the same amount of time, you'd be pinned at, you know, the top speed for literally probably 10 seconds. It's just the distribution between power to weight is so much more on a motorcycle than it is in most cars. Cars, it's just so much harder to, you know, compete with that because of how light motorcycles are. And then in terms of within the motorcycle community itself, the different bikes, you know, everybody assumes that you got to have the most horsepower to have the fastest bike. That's not always the case. There was a recent video with, you know, the 2005 Gixxer 1000, just like mine, and they put it up against a brand new 2020 Ducati Panigale, and this bike actually won. They had to go and do some research to figure out how, because they did all different kinds of tests and stuff. And in terms of motorcycles or anything, the weight distribution is huge, because this bike is one of the lightest motorcycles ever made. It has probably the best weight to power ratio of any bike ever made. This bike was just able to handle at a similar rate to, you know, a brand new motorcycle. And that's what I'm saying too. That's why when you look to get a bike or anything and you're looking for speed or whatever it is, you got to look at weight. Yeah, you know, a Dodge Challenger, yeah, Dodge Challenger might have, you know, 550 horsepower, your SRT, but if it weighs 4,500 pounds, you know, you're not going to go as fast as you would if you were in a slower or a car with less horsepower, but it also weighs a lot less. Because as I said, being a car guy, I've seen that side of it too, where, you know, I have a 2013 Mustang GT, and, you know, it's got the big V8, but I see some of these little cars out on the racetrack, when they do dyno pulls and stuff like that, you know, they probably only have 350 horsepower, but, you know, the car weighs 1,500 pounds less, and that's where the huge difference is. They can make up for it by, you know, not having to push all that weight as hard. So basically, when you take a look at motorcycles and you compare them to cars, for the most part, there's no comparison. Motorcycles will blow any normal car out of the water. They'll even blow most, you know, competitive cars out of the water. Like I said, this is not true for all bikes. There are some slower bikes, some starter bikes, bikes that are good for commuting. But when we're talking about, you know, raw sport bikes, you know, 600s and the 1000s that are made for speed, those bikes are just unmatched, and the acceleration in those bikes are unmatched to basically any car that you can get. So if you're looking to get into speed, not for the street, you shouldn't be doing that stuff on the street. But if you're looking to get into speed, you know, tracks and stuff like that, dynos, you know, drag racing, or just normal lap racing, you know, if you're looking for speed and you have the confidence to go for a motorcycle instead of a car, I think you're going to enjoy the motorcycle a lot more if you're someone that enjoys speed and that thrill. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it gave you a little bit of a better sense of the difference between, you know, the speed of a car and the speed of a bike. Before I finish, you know, if you look at the 0 to 60 of, you know, this bike, if you have a professional rider doing it, 0 to 60 is 2.7 seconds. I mean, that's literally insane. 2.7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, you're at 60 miles an hour, just like that. So it's not very easy to find any cars that do that, even supercars. So hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos in the future, hit subscribe. And as always, guys, you have a great day. I will see you in the next one. Peace.